Folks, I am excited to welcome our next guest. It is the great Nate Taylor of The Athletic, covers all things Kansas City. Now, before I ask Nate how he's doing, I got to talk about this because I saw Nate Gilbert a couple of weeks ago. And I told him, hey, well, can you jump on the show? He's like, look, I'll jump on if I'm at the Super Bowl, but I don't know if I'm going to be there.
Yeah,
and I'm like, and guess where we are? Oh, Nate.
I'm going to say that was a Week 18 in LA,
18
Chargers
and Chiefs. I was the only one that spoke to Travis Kelce after the game.
I remember it.
But Nate, just how are you? And you didn't expect to be here, did you?
No, I'm fantastic. I mean, maybe I should look at it like that for the rest of the week. Right? I expect to be here, but I'm here. It's Vegas. It's better than Kansas City.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work involved, but I'm happy to be here to join you guys. No, I didn't think they were going to be here. I thought, okay, they'll win their first playoff game. It'll be at home. And they probably got to go to Baltimore, Buffalo, or even at the time, like Miami, right? Miami was like the 2 seed at the time. I was like, well, maybe they got one road game in them. I thought the standard was like getting to the championship game. Like if they got to the championship game, I was like, wow, like okay, like you guys really accomplished something this year. And not only did they do that, now they're in their 4th Super Bowl in 5 years, and exceeded my expectations based on how they played for much of the regular season. So I don't know, guys. I mean, it's crazy. Like 5 weeks ago, you think Fernando, you're like, yeah. It was an interesting season because it wasn't like most other seasons was Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid. Now, look at 5 weeks later, you're like, they could be the champions, like 2-time champions. Like that's nuts. So yeah, it's a very unusual season.
Well, Nate, let me ask you this, and hopefully it makes sense. Like, are these still the same Chiefs team from like Week 18? And they just executed better, and they have experience and a good head coach and a great quarterback and a good defense, and it just the other team didn't have experience? Is that simple kind of to say they're here?
I do think there's some truth to that, honestly, because one of the things that I kind of wrote about, but I didn't think it was going to be like that big of an impact, but it turned out to be was we were in SoFi, Travis Kelce doesn't play, and it's like, oh well, that's sad. Like you want 16 yards from another 1,000-yard season, and you're like, all right, well, it'll be 8 straight years. Like no one will remember this 5 years from now, but like they'll remember that like, hey, you had another 1,000-yard season despite all these injuries. But because he got the extra rest, he actually got healthier. He actually has played really well in the postseason. And I do get the sense that, like, Patrick Mahomes always elevates his game in general. It's, like, amazing to me how he can do that. And, kind of one of the quieter storylines is that the Chiefs have a good defense. Like, they have Chris Jones and, George Karlaftis, each had 2.5 sacks. You have, Nick Bolton and Drew Tranquil and Willie Gay. You have the linebackers. They have perhaps the best corner duo in the league, Trent McDuffie and L'Jarius Sneed. So it wasn't like Chiefs were going to score 30. So if the defense keeps you in the game, all of a sudden, yeah, you can trust on Andy Reid to make the right call for Patrick Mahomes not to turn the football over. All of a sudden, I can throw to Travis Kelce. It looks like Travis Kelce from 4 years ago. He doesn't look like the one we saw in November, December, where it looked like, man, he's 34. It's getting old, man. Like it sucks to watch. But all of a sudden, he got like basically 2 weeks off, and now he's playing really great. So Baltimore hadn't posted an AFC Championship game since 1971. I mean, Buffalo had a ton of injuries on defense, and they could have won that game. Kicker Tyler Bass missed. So you kind of get lucky in that regard. And then all of a sudden, like, it just so happens Lamar Jackson has his first game of the season in the AFC Championship game. So you could say, like, yes, the rest helped. Yes, their championship pedigree, their resilience, their experience totally helped. But the other teams didn't play well either. So they've kind of benefited in a way where, when you look at this game, it's like, all right, well, the 49ers have 2 weeks to prepare. They'll be relatively healthy. If they don't make mistakes, maybe they beat the Chiefs. Who knows? But at least the Chiefs figured out a way to get through this. And I didn't anticipate it.
So, Nate, I told Gilbert this. I don't know if I'm right on this or not. I thought when Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney kind of took a back seat, that's where a lot of things changed. And sometimes that stuff is contagious, the drops and all that stuff. So I guess a two-parter. One, am I correct? And then two, could we see them possibly come back for the Super Bowl? And do you want them in there for your Andy Reid, especially with the way your offense has kind of been rolling these past few weeks?
I think you're right. They were trying to, spread the ball around, give the ball to everybody. Everybody has an opportunity. Yeah. Like you in row 6, you come run a route, and Patrick will throw you the ball. It's like that doesn't work, right? Like one of the most beautiful things about the 49ers is they have 4 guys, and they're all hawks, and they're only giving the ball. Never give the ball to Kyle Juszczyk because,
why not?
Fullbacks matter.
Yeah, because fullbacks matter. We're like, check it down to them every now and then, run a screen. But they have 4 guys, and that's all that matters. The Chiefs had to figure out that, Sky Moore's second round pick has not worked out. Kadarius Toney is wildly talented, but he's really unreliable, and he has drops, he has injuries, issues. They had to continue to force feed Rasheed Rice, who's their rookie receiver.
He's very good.
And he got better as the season went, right? So they tried all these guys, and they found one that works. I guess you give credit to Marcus Valdez-Scantling because he's a professional and he's been doing it for 6 years, and he's still really fast. It's just he's catching the ball. It's like wow, amazing! What happens when
the ball was in the air? I was like, is he get
catch it? Yeah, everybody was thinking that and I was like, wow, he caught it. Wow, that is what a season, where he's awful for much of the 17 weeks, and then in the biggest game of the season, he makes one of the biggest catches. So what they really did was, hey, we're going to lean on Isaiah Pacheco. You stay healthy for them. You still have an all-world tight end in Travis Kelce, and now we have Rasheed Rice. We have 3 guys, and Patrick Mahomes is going to use his leg more because obviously it's an elimination. He doesn't have to worry about trying to manage his body over the course of the season. So if you have 4 guys, that's enough. Now they scored 17 points against Baltimore. Part of that is, okay, they leaned on their defense. They didn't want to overexpose themselves and have a turnover. But at the same time, this is what they're going to have to do to get to 20, right? Can they win a game if it's 20-21? It's possible.
Can they?
But I think that's one of the big questions is 49ers are extremely talented, and they've shown an ability to come back with these 2 playoff victories that they have. The Chiefs have not had to do that. The Chiefs get the lead early and sort of squeeze the life out of the game. But again, they only have 3 guys outside of Mahomes. But to your point, Fernando, they had to stop doing Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney, and they only give Marcus Valdez-Scantling 3 targets a game, and that's enough, right? He just runs really fast. So I do think that helped him because it makes him simple for him. He only has to look at 2 to 3 guys, trust them, and he'll find a way.
Nate, I know Fernando wants to ask you about a certain pop icon dating one of the players. You could get that one, Fernando. Let me show some love to the defense, for a little bit. And going back to the AFC title game, it felt like it was Mahomes and Kelce, jumping into a big lead, and then we're gonna just chill. You defense, go do your thing.
Yep.
With the 49ers having so many weapons, but they also have the Jerry Sneed and Trent McDuffie, and you mentioned Chris Jones and Nick Bolton. Mm-hmm. Just in terms of that matchup, the offense of Kyle Shanahan and Spags, what intrigues you the most about that?
What intrigues me the most is that there are probably going to be a lot of one-on-one opportunities, right? Specifically for George Kittle or Debo Samuel. I think they'll give probably their most attention to Christian McCaffrey because the Chiefs are not great at stopping the run. That was one of the more weird things about the Raiders game, that the Raiders got behind 10 and just started running the football. So I would advise Kyle Shanahan not to do that. But I think the best part about Steve Spagnuolo, the Chiefs coordinator, is they're going to blitz. I know they're going to blitz. Everybody in the stadium knows it's 3rd and 7. We're blitzing. And it's I'm really interested to see can Brock Purdy figure out where the blitz is coming from and can deliver on time, right? Because it's going to be a one-on-one matchup. They love doing, sort of exotic blitzes, cover 0, where it's just man-to-man across the board. And maybe you can get away with that if it's an older version of Odell Beckham and Brooklyn and Zay Flowers. It's another thing when it's George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk's incredible, and he's like the fourth guy. So they need to tackle really, really well because I think they're going to try to get the ball out of Purdy's hands with like blitzing. And if the pass is completed, you've got to tackle. If you don't tackle, Christian McCaffrey can run 60 yards into the end zone, and no other team in the AFC has that, right? Like, I think as good as Lamar is, like Mark Andrews is not, and Stephon Diggs is not Deebo Samuel or even Brendan Ayuk at this point. And I know Miami had Tyreek Hill, and the Chiefs did a very good job with him, but these guys are healthy. Tyreek Hill was injured for us in the year. We all kind of knew that. And so, he made the one play in the game for the Dolphins to score a touchdown. So they have more weapons than anybody that the Chiefs have faced all season, which makes it fascinating. But you just know they're going to blitz and hope that there's a turnover instead of a touchdown.
Before I satisfy Gilbert's quota that he knows I'm going to ask, I'm going to ask it the next round, though, because I have one question for you.
Sure.
And this is what I've been telling Gilbert. I feel like, and I know my brother won't be happy about this one, but I'm going to do it. I kind of feel like the Chiefs are kind of getting into that Patriots way sense where, not this thing. I think teams psych themselves out by the way they're attacking. Because I was so surprised that Baltimore went away from running the football. I was surprised that the Bills went away from running the football at one point in the second half. I don't know what's been going on, but I kind of feel like teams go away from their MO, and I feel like that's kind of been their undoing. And I feel like that's something that Kyle Shanahan's been doing recently, where he tries to put the ball in Brock Purdy's hands, and it's like, no, your bread and butter is Christian McCaffrey. Like, I don't understand why this is such a big mystery, but I don't know what you think about that, but I kind of feel like that's where the Chiefs are right now, where they kind of psych other teams out. And obviously you have Spags, who Chiefs fans have tried to fire multiple times, but he is right now, he is at another level. But do you kind of get that sense a little bit that teams kind of get psyched out by them?
I definitely felt it in Baltimore, right? The way I would describe it is like the crowd in Buffalo was amazing. I mean, those people
throwing snowballs,
snowballs, and they're screaming, and I get it, man. You got Josh Allen, he's awesome. So they're like, we're gonna win the game. But in Baltimore, they saw Pat's first drive, and everybody, oh my God, how are we gonna stop him? And Baltimore had the best defense in the league in terms of giving up the fewest amount of points, and first two drives, touchdown, and I think it's psyched. It's understandable for Todd Monken, the offensive coordinator for the Ravens, to be like, oh no, it's a shootout. We got to go touchdown for touchdown. And it's like, no, not really. Again, Patrick only has three guys. So, it's not like he's going to light it up the entire game. He just doesn't want to make mistakes. And so because Mahomes is playing so well, and because the Chiefs aren't turning the football over like they were earlier in the year in the regular season, then you can start to feel that pressure of man, they're playing about as up to their potential as they could, right? And it's still hard to sack them, get an interception, to create a negative play that I think the opposing offenses feel like the burden's on their shoulders. You have to be the heroes. And so Lamar Jackson, I don't know why, but Lamar threw that interception, and I was just you're only down 10. It's early in the fourth quarter. And you can just tell he kind of lost himself mentally. He throws his helmet down, and at that point, I'm like, well, the game's over. If their best player is that frustrated and makes that big of a mistake just because the other guy on the other team isn't making a mistake, then it could be an issue. Again, experience does tend to matter because in this game, when you see Brock Purdy in the Super Bowl, I want Kyle Shanahan to support him as best possible. But like you said, there's been moments where what are you doing? Why are you playing for the field goal? You have players, you have all the play calls in the world. Stay aggressive. But Purdy's known for throwing interceptions. He's known for having a bad moment and then having a great moment. Mahomes is just And because he's played in Super Bowls previously, like nothing's gonna really like, I believe, like psych him out or like make him nervous. Like he just wants to go out and execute and give. If the Chiefs somehow get a lead in the second quarter and they build on it, it would be in the same scenario where it's like, okay, 49ers, like let's see it in another comeback game. Except this time he's the champs, and you have to beat the champs, and no one's been able to do it so far. So one of the plays that like I think is just as impactful to the Chiefs being here than even the Tyler Bass missed field goal in Buffalo is, guys, I was in the press box. I said, no, I'm not in the air on a dive. And Stephon Diggs dropped it.
Yep.
And then he tells him, you were a little bit off.
Like, what? You trying to throw the ball 65 yards down the field.
In that cold.
In the cold, yeah.
The snow. So, again, Brendan Ayuk makes that happen. He bounces off a guy's face mask. I'm right there. I give him a ton of credit, but like those moments matter where it's just like you have to. Like, the Chiefs are not going to like just. At least they haven't shown that so far through the postseason. So you got to beat them, and there's going to be opportunities in it. Like your kicker's got a chance to win the game. He needs to make the field goal. If the receiver's open downfield, he needs to make the catch. Because Patrick Mahomes just isn't giving teams chances because he's just not giving them many mistakes at all.
All right, Fernando, it's time.
All right. What has it been like this year covering all of that? Like, you have the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce relationship.
Yes.
The Kelces are getting bigger, not only because of that, but their podcast is taking off and everything. Just kind of what's this whole year been like?
It's been a circus. it's like it's hard to believe that like they're already the defending champs, right? So it can't get already got team, Hall of Fame quarterback, Hall of Fame pass rusher, like the coaches, one of the best in the league.
Loves cheeseburgers.
Loves cheeseburgers. And, obviously one of the property capital of the world. And like what? Taylor Swift. I still remember the day when like there were some people in the organization that were like, "Oh, she's really coming," and they're like, "Yeah." Oh, what? No. Like, yes, but no. Right now, like, she basically made the decision, I believe, Saturday night before they played the Chicago Bears. Gets on the jet, flies in, and, like, the Chiefs are like, we got to give her something. Like, go to the team store. What are you, like, give her the windbreaker? And all of a sudden she's in, red lipstick, Chiefs windbreaker, and you're just like, is this real? Is this like a publicity stunt? Like, okay, I get it.
Good. I'm close enough to yell at
you. Date right after the game.
Good. No.
Kansas City. TMZ releases the photo, and I'm like, oh, not a good love one for the girlfriend. Oh, man, this is gonna be something. So it's been a circus because right from that to New York, and I'm like, there's Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds and Jason Sudeikis and Paul Rudd. That's the whole cruise here. And they're going to go to Germany. Everybody in Germany is asking if Travis Kelce's in love. There was a legitimate question this year. A woman, God bless her, was like, Travis, answer the question. Are you in love? And Travis is like, I would like to talk about the Miami Dolphins. So it's been an enjoyable ride. I mean, she was on the field after the game in Baltimore, and it's just like, oh, she's just right over there. And, like, you're trying to be respectful. You're like, okay, let them have the moment, but also, like,
Tony Romo.
She's going to go to the Super Bowl, right? But, like, doesn't she have, like, this commitment in Japan? And Japan's like, no, we'll get the best jet. And so, yeah, she's been at more Chiefs games than not.
Were you surprised at how many?
Yes. But when I knew that these two
were legit.
Yes. Guys. It is a logistical nightmare to get to Lambeau Field.
Exactly.
Okay, you all have been there.
I've done it, yeah.
You guys were there. Like, you gotta go to the Milwaukee or drive up, or you gotta go to Appleton and do it. I was like, what airport is she get a helicopter and just like land? Like, what is this? When you want to watch your man play the Green Bay Packers in early December in snow at night? Oh yeah, y'all love. Yeah, you guys are in love. She's been hanging out with Brittany, Patrick's wife, Brittany Mahomes. They have like this cool, like, best friends forever relationships for the blooming. It's wild. I mean, the lady wins the, album of the year, song of the year, whatever, and she's just like, oh yeah, my new album's coming out, April 19th, and every Chiefs fan's like, oh, what are going to be the references? Like, obviously, Kai just knew about this project. Like, I'm sure he'll be asked about it tonight at media night. Has he heard?
Oh, there's gonna be more people for Travis Kelce than there will for Andy or Patrick.
Yes, just because, again, it's a short trip from LA, but okay, if she now releases this album and was she going over lyrics with you? I just can't imagine. So,
how many Swifties have followed you?
Quite a bit. It's been fun to explain to the non-sports fan that yes, Travis cannot be everywhere. He has practice, and then guess what? It's another day of practice, and he, coach is not going to let him leave the team. He's going to fly
for the Grammys, right?
Yeah, he's going to fly with the team. Okay, coach is very much about being a team. No one's above one another. They've done a really good job of bringing her along for the ride. But she's been respectful to the team and vice versa. But yeah, there's a chance that in 8 days she will have won the album of the year, and he will have been 3 times Super Bowl champion.
Not bad. That happens. Could you see Kelce saying, you know what? I've had a great career. My brother's thinking about it. I want to retire at the same time my brother does. They announce on their podcast they're done. Could you see a scenario where that maybe, he rides up into the sunset with a Super Bowl, or what do you? Because I'm sure he wants to preserve his
Yes,
you want to preserve your ball. You don't want to just run it down. That the wheels fall off is a good analogy, but
and he said that before.
But I'm sure you want to preserve some of the body,
And
pop star.
It's pretty alluring, I gotta say. Again, if they win, like you said, let's say he wins and he has a great performance, a touchdown, maybe 2 touchdowns.
MVP, then he gets down on one knee and proposes.
Okay.
We're
getting too far ahead.
What would your
the amount of work I would have to do? Yo, let's segment this out, guys. Win on Sunday if you got to do that. Do the engagement sometime in June, before training camp or whenever you want to retire. I don't know. I mean, he's still really good. It's just a matter of can he do it for a whole season? Right? One of the best things about this last month is he's only been focused on this month. Okay, we got to the playoffs. I just hope Pat we can still do this, and they're here. But do this for another 21 weeks with training camp, with OTA, with whatever. Obviously his business offers it. So it's something he's going to have to consider because Jason is pretty much. It would be surprising after 1 more year, and they're both going to go in the Hall of Fame, and congrats to him on that. But I hope
he has to marry her though. There's no turning back. You're at the point of no return. You're at the point of no return.
You don't need to know the other outcomes.
You really want marriage, huh?
Yeah.
Say for
No. I'm just saying, once you're in, there's if he goes back now, it's gonna be hard.
And I don't want it to become like a Tom Brady.
Yeah.
No, I think this is more Victoria and David Beckham.
Okay, I hope so.
I think this is where it's
where she told him, all right, you're 40, whatever. Come on, man. And he's another season in me. She's like, I can't do that anymore. Everyone's done it. So I would hope that they'll obviously talk about it. But I don't know. I've enjoyed covering Travis.
Even though it's Lions time, they still could do it at the same
For the fact that he can cover and still be this good, and obviously, the blossom their relationship is it's quite remarkable, honestly, given the amount of attention that they've had. So I don't know if he'll retire, But there's clearly a life after football that seems very strong.
Nate, before we let you go, one random thought. Like, what is Paul Rudd thinking that he used to be the most famous celebrity Chiefs fan? Or Cam from Modern Family, and here comes Taylor Swift. I feel bad for Paul.
Yeah,
That's it. That's what I'm thinking about right now.
Now he really is Ant-Man.
Like I'm like, Heidi Gardner's on SNL.
Who cares?
Who cares? I mean, we learned this year that Morgan Freeman is apparently a Chiefs fan, a very big Patrick Mahomes fan, and I was like, okay, like
they're all coming out now.
Yeah, they're all. Yes, it's wild, and of course,
he's gonna do that documentary on Patrick.
With the voice,
yeah. But like, it's no big. I mean, the comparison you have, Hernando, is very, I think, accurate because I only watched the first 2 episodes of the documentary, but I was just like, oh yeah, I forgot all about the Spice Girl. And I was like, they're in their early 20s, at least for Taylor and Travis, they're in their early 30s, early to mid 30s.
Yeah.
But like, man,
and then David was already like, athletes didn't think about life after football, and David was already thinking about that back then, and I mean, obviously we all know, like, and that's the thing people forget is that when she started dating him, she got a lot of crap. Victoria did.
Yes.
Like, fans were aggressive. They would chant stuff in the stadium. So that's why I kind of not surprised about Taylor Swift receiving flack also, because it's natural. It's going to happen. I know some people are kind of like, it happens in wrestling, it happens in soccer, it happens everywhere else. So I'm just not surprised by it.
Right.
And I get it. Like, people just, and even I think she said in the Baltimore game, stop showing me, or she mouthed something like that. So I think even she gets a little bit tired of it. But I mean, that's just
Taylor Swift.
sorry. Like, you're gonna get some of that. But
kind of like this.
what about last one, Big Red? What's it? Because if they win, he has an opportunity to be like, you know what? It's been because I have a theory.
Okay.
I have a theory that Ben Johnson.
Just give me all the
No. I think Ben Johnson did not take any job because I think he wants an established quarterback, and I feel like he thinks. Well, I heard that. Well, obviously there was things about interviews, whatever. But I think that he secretly might be thinking, you know what, the Chiefs job could be available soon. Why not wait? And I can work with one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history. That's just, I like WWE, so I like
interesting thought. Yeah.
Because I don't think Matt Nagy's going to take over this team. I don't think.
I don't know what the succession plan would be.
Like, so but I kind of feel like this would be the perfect opportunity for Andy Reid if he wanted to be like, you know what? Like, in Philly, I got a lot of flack for never winning. I come here, I got flack at the beginning. But now that I found my quarterback and I developed him, because they should get really lonely for Pat pretty soon if Big Red and Travis Kelce. Like, so that's why I'm saying, like, I wonder if Big Red would consider riding off into the cheeseburger sunset and
how much would how much would part-time?
The
son of Lamar.
Yeah.
How much would part-time? Please don't leave.
Andy Reid's gonna pull a Magic Johnson.
I ain't coming back, guys. I ain't coming back. My question is, like, what would he? He's such a football lifer. Yeah. He's been coaching in the NFL since 1980 as a head coach. Crazy with the Packers when they had obviously Brett Favre in England since 1996, 97. So, like, I don't know. I mean, he's got it pretty good from a structural standpoint. He's got a great defense, got a great quarterback. The front office is kind of in his image too with Brett Veach. So he can do whatever he wants, right? Especially if they were to win on something. I can't fault him if that's what he would choose. Man, it'd be hard to be like, okay, like, what's crazy is like, Bill Belichick still wants to coach, right?
His first season was the year that Walter Payton was a rookie in the NFL. And now he's not going to coach for next year. I already told Gilbert, CBS or Fox need to get him and Nick Saban in one of those simulcasts, have them sit down and watch games.
Yeah, I would be there.
That's bro, I'm sorry. I have a lot of money ideas.
You got a lot of thoughts for now.
Yeah. Nobody wants to support him. I'm like, I got a lot of
there's a marriage, there's a new coach, and there's a new podcast with Bill Belichick.
But like, I just think if Belichick wants to coach, I would assume Andy Reid is kind of in that same boat. They kind of are similar to me, even though they go about ways differently. Like Andy has a lot more personality to him than obviously Bill. But yeah, I mean, it would be crazy if we went into next season and there's no Bill Belichick. I would just the whole league would look completely different. So Ben Johnson's obviously one of the more attractive, guys you could hire down the road. Obviously, Eric Bieniemy's no longer in Washington. I don't know what's going to happen with him. Matt Nagy's been a head coach before, so he would have the experience, I guess. Obviously, he knows the home really well. So maybe there's a chance. But
Mike Vrabel just punches the door down
out there, right? I mean, he's very good at his job.
I don't know
what Tennessee's doing.
I just saw something where it said he intimidated GMs during his interviews.
Coach, man, I don't know what you want to. Do you guys want to win? I guess would be my question, but I think he'll be back. No one has really put it out that he's thinking about it, but who knows? We may talk to him later this week, and he may give it a little more steam, to the idea that he's the oldest coach in the league right now. He will be 70 soon, so a few years. So. I think he's coming back, but I'm not sure, fellas.
I'm not trying to give you more work. I apologize for that.
But we do it because we enjoy it.
Yeah, no, 100%. But that is our compa Nate Taylor. Thank you so much for jumping on with us. We always enjoy having you. I know it's a little bit harder during the season, so we're glad we're able to get you. I'm
so glad this worked out. We're in person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know. So we missed you, and again. Gilbert, I was so excited when I saw him at SoFi. As soon as I didn't think he was going to be there. I don't even think he thought he was going to be there.
Reporters take the week off too, week 18.
Should have been on my couch. But it all worked out.
I saw him and I'm like, there's my boy Nate. So yeah, but thank you so much, Nate.
Yes, anytime, fellas. Thank you.